Drop the need to succeed. That is what I'm going to talk about today. This is something that I have realized quite recently, and it has been a pretty interesting lesson for me, so I felt to share my realization. And of course, as with any of these videos, I'm pretty open to discussion should you find your way to my page. It's very windy today. I hope this doesn't mess up the production value. That's just me. I do like that greenery in there, but yeah, okay. Alright. Drop the need to succeed. So there is a collectively agreed upon idea of success in this socio-economic system that we live in. What does success look like in this system? It looks like fame and fortune, I would say. To summarize, fame, being a famous footballer, being a famous athlete, being a famous politician, being a famous actor, actress. You have succeeded in life if you've gained recognition and fame and maybe some badges and some awards, and this can be in the corporate life as well, being a partner at a law firm, being a hotshot hedge fund manager, portfolio manager. These are kind of that's the fame part of it, and then obviously fortune. If you have $1 billion, a pretty large portfolio of assets, stocks, real estate, if you founded and launched and IPO'd 2, 3 businesses, one business that has huge enterprise value, you're a success as well. So that's the kind of collectively agreed upon idea of success. Is it true? Is it not? I'll let you decide. I would say it's not what really success is, but I get it. It's the world we live in, and growing up, I think everyone sees success, or this version of success, a means to escape difficulty in their life. Right? So if you're from a not particularly wealthy background, fortune can buy you financial security, buy you a house, a nice car, the right to not have to work again. So we strive for money, right? That's the basics. And that can be the case of for wealthier individuals or people that grew up in wealthier households as well. I don't think it's limited. With them, I think with people from that background, it looks a little bit different. Maybe it's a bit more success is approval. It's fame and fortune outside of the family. So you often see a lot of these individuals look to build or create something completely new and look to get fame and fortune off their own back. So in that sense, it's not so much different. And so we are very early, we are conditioned with this drive to succeed because we understand that to be a fix. It fixes things that might be not present in your life, or it's just the world we live in. That's how you come to happiness, come to fulfillment, come to making out difficult situations. Wow, it is windy. I hope this is not going to affect the sound. I know I've probably at some point got to improve my production value, but for now my focus is on consistency, so yeah, make do with it. Okay, now I think this is particularly the case for people from a less wealthy background. I'm going to speak for myself, from a single parent background for the most part. I do have a father and all that good stuff, but it was not from a particularly wealthy background, honestly, and a lot of scarcity, a lot of lack, just in the general mindset and the thought patterns that have to overcome. And I was fortunate to be gifted with sharp intelligence, athletic ability, to the point where people around me growing up could see my potential. And I imagine plenty of people can relate to this. Even if you have your own disposition and skill set, parents will often look to their children as their salvation. I'm going to project Mbappe, I'm going to make you a professional footballer, I'm going to make you an actor, I'm going to make sure you learn piano, and I'm going to make sure you go to school, and you can uplift this whole family. All right? I think it's human nature. I'm not, no slight on any parent, no slight on any person. I think it's just a very, very deep conditioning, very deep, that takes a tremendous amount of growth and awareness to even see, let alone overcome. So no slight on anyone. That's just life, and it's actually the blessing of it is it provides a condition for you to transcend it, overcome it, and liberate yourself from it. So in that context, it's a great thing, providing you don't get stuck there. So this ability or potential, suddenly you receive the projection of others. They will say to you, you're going to be so wealthy, you're going to be a millionaire, you're going to be a footballer, you're going to be famous, you're going to do this one day. And as a child, what we do is we take that, and that gets digested as a core belief. I mean, if the people you trust are telling you that's what's going to happen, then that's going to be your outcome, right? That becomes a core belief, to the point where suddenly then your life becomes about chasing success. And so you end up living in misalignment in a pretty big way. You put success, outer success, on a pedestal, and you commit your life to going and chasing the success. And that might be suffering, sacrificing, doing things you don't want to do, going places you don't want to go, engaging in activities that you don't enjoy, doing things where you compromise your self-respect. Think about like what people will do for a promotion, or what people will do to get a gig, get a role in a film. You kind of betray yourself. I'm not even necessarily talking about some of the things that might happen. I mean even just not standing your ground, taking some crap, taking some low pay, suffering in many different ways, right? Because you've put on a pedestal the outcome, the successful outcome that comes at the end of it. And this ends up basically becoming a little bit of a carrot on a stick, and you chase it for your whole lifetime until you snap out of it, of course. But and life has interesting ways of making you snap out of it, or giving you a rude awakening. But yeah, you end up running from failure, chasing success, and that brings you into areas where you're in misalignment. Because going back to us being energy systems, for us to live our most joyous and expansive lives, we have intruders. That requires us basically to stay. I'm going to let the intruders pass.
But the point is, that means we're taking
A couple of ladies running. It's really hot to run. Fair play. Yeah, so to our outer reality is a mirror of our inner reality. To live the life that we came here to live, creative, joyous expansion, we, for as much of our day and as much of our lives, must stay in that high vibration of joy, love, awareness. But this chasing success pulls us down into areas where we fall into misalignment. We do things that we don't enjoy. You know, we've all worked a job that we don't enjoy because it's a means to an end. We can climb a ladder, we can get a role, we can use it to leverage something else, we can swing from this rope to that rope. We've all done that, and that's been a fair old stretch of time. Everyone's different, where we've lived in a state where we're not enjoying our life. Very simple, we're out of alignment. And then we get pulled down even further into shame, into guilt, and that comes out in different ways, and then we repress things, and it's a whole negative feedback loop. But the core of it, the roots of it is, if I succeed, I win the approval of the people around me, I am able to be loved, I am validated. Right? You see where that comes from? So we have to, and it takes some work to see it before we can drop it. We have to shine a light on it, and it will dissolve. It's not, we can't fight against it. We don't have to necessarily drop everything. You might hear this and feel a compulsion to leave your job and go to Bali. That's not what I'm saying. You might have responsibilities, you have people to feed, you have yourself to feed. It's not as simple as just upping and going, but we have to basically shift ourselves into alignment. What does that mean? Stop chasing outcomes, stop chasing success, stop forcing outcomes that basically would paint us as a success in the world. You know, I've got to get this deal across the line ASAP. I need to get this deal across the line now. Otherwise, people are going to see me as a failure. My business has to succeed. You see how that can be such a restricting thing? How it's like a vice. It has to succeed. I have to get rich or die trying. And the irony is, one, the more you let go of control, the more control you actually will have. You can only control your inner state of being, and the outer circumstances will reflect that. If you live in the vibration of freedom, of love, of joy, of abundance, your outer world will reflect that. Don't be surprised if you end up living a way more abundant and fulfilling life once you sort the internal system out. Oh, it is really windy. and avoiding failure. It's two sides of the same coin. Running from failure. Accept failure. Failure is part of life. Failure is part of life. And what you'll find is once you start to see this and see all the actions you're taking during the day that are coming from a place where you're striving to succeed, striving for external validation, striving and ambitious, living up to the expectation of others, the more you drop that, the more liberated you will feel in yourself, the freer you will feel. And that frees up space to go and do the things you enjoy. And by doing the things you enjoy, you raise your state, you raise your frequency, and the outer world will reflect that, and it will pay you back. Simple. And one other consequence of this, or one other byproduct of this, is your whole definition of success will start to change. By accepting failure or not chasing the agreed upon definition of success, your own definition of success will change. Suddenly, making your niece laugh feels like a success. Cooking a nice meal for your family feels like a success. Spending your day by your choices, being out in the afternoon in the sun while everyone else is in the city, in an office, feels like a success to me. I am now free to go do as I please. Do I work? Yes. Unfortunately or fortunately, the way this world is set up, you gotta eat. You gotta work, you gotta eat. But as YouTube shows us, or the dissemination of information now shows us, there's more than one way to make money, there's more than one way to be paid. Right? If you love writing and you have a vision in your mind of a book that you want to write, you write that in a state of love and enjoyment, it will release itself to the world, and it very well could be the thing that gives you the financial freedom that you've been chasing through working in insurance. See? So I always come back to the same message, that it's an inside job. We have, as humans, have the ability to choose and be intentional about what our internal state is. Our superpower is the outer world will reflect our inner world. It's a mirror. The inner work, really is to become aware of the blocks and the obstacles that reside in our mind, in the subconscious, in the dark, the thought patterns that we have picked up and have become core beliefs, like I need to be successful to win the love of my parents, I need to be successful to be validated by the world. These kind of thought patterns and core beliefs, they get stuck in there and they become the engine of your life. And we can't go with a pickaxe and with effort and try to remove it. All it takes is a dissolution. They dissolve. But how do they dissolve? Through awareness. Bring awareness to them. Understand what is driving your life currently, in your day, every decision you make. And it's not, I'm not going to say it's easy to go from this video to being a master of this. You're going to get lost in thought, you're going to get dragged into thought, you're going to get dragged into patterns, habits. but you know, little by little, become aware of the thought patterns that are driving your actions. The awareness is the thing that dissolves them, that makes room for new thought patterns. We can then choose joy, love, awareness, and use those just by staying in that frequency, staying in that zone. We can use that to create the reality around us, and we can use our imagination to create outcomes that are in alignment with our soul's purpose. So, the last thing I'll add is I was in the gym today, and I thought this was kind of a little bit of a cue for me for this chat. But what I was listening to, what came on was Crazy, Gnarls Barkley. What an amazing tune that is, right? And it says, one of the lyrics, I can't remember the order of these two lines, but it was like, ha ha ha, bless your soul, you really think you're in control? That's my singing voice, but how true is that, right? You're not in control. The more you try to control the outcome, the more it pushes away from you and keeps you in misalignment and causes trouble in your life. Because if you're someone like I have been, where you're chasing success, you spend a lot of your day cooped up, working hard, trying to make things happen because you think big wad of cash means everyone loves me and I'm accepted. You see that? That's a core belief that many people have, and it's maybe the core belief that's keeping the engine running of the whole socio-economic system. Right? Maybe not. Who knows? But all right. Yeah, if you come across this, leave some comments. Let's chat.